Well, it's race 2 in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 SuperCup here at Donington Park, and overnight, Luke, the decision for the race victory was overturned, giving you the win. You must be feeling pretty pleased.
Yeah, I think it took 2 hours for them to make the decision, but it was, it's a crucial decision either for me or Jack. So I think they made the right call because, like I say, I couldn't have got out of that chicane any quicker than I did. So for Jack to be able to overtake me through it, he had to cut the track. But he had to give it a try. The only way he could have won that race is to do it. So fair play to him having a go, but unfortunately it was a bit obvious. So unlucky for him, but lucky for me. But I did drive hard in that race, so I felt I deserved the win. We all feel we deserve the win, but we're all good enough to win, so yeah.
2 races today, could be your 3rd championship. Is that something that you've given any thought to?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've done a few calculations, not too hard, because the best thing for me to do is go out and race like I always race. If you start trying to play things and manipulate the results, it always ends up going wrong. So the best thing to do is for me to go out, try and win, and then if we have to think about what to do in the last race, then we will. But so the plan is just to go out and win.
Okay, well, we'll let you get ready. See, it's time for you to go out, so we'll let you continue getting ready for your preparations. Thank you, Luke. Hopefully we'll speak to you later on. With that, it's over to Andy to take you through all of the race 2 action.
Thanks, Lloyd. Well, it's a damp and greasy circuit that greets the drivers this morning for race number 2. Here's how they line up. Luke Herbert and Aidan Hills share the front row based on their 2nd fastest lap times from qualifying yesterday, with Harding and James Cousins on row 2. Then it's Simon Baldwin, one of the stars of the show yesterday, and Nick Rutter alongside, with Patrick Fletcher and George Grant on the 4th row. Gary Townsend and Declan Lear on row 5. Chris Richardson and Peter Weaver are next. Then Bradley Kent, Liz Walton, David Henderson and Will Stevenson to round out the 16 runners. So 12 points in it. If Herbert beats Harding in this race, you have to say it's as good as over, really. So Harding has nothing to lose and is well and truly fired up after that decision that was taken to reverse the result after race number 1. The lights go out then. We're away and racing for the penultimate time in 2019. And it's neck and neck here between Aidan Hills and Luke Herbert. The top 2 on the grid are side by side into Redgate Corner for the first time. Now, in these damp conditions, the grip may prove to be on the outside line. And that's where Aidan Hills goes. And he gets the lead away. Nicely done. Aidan does tend to go well in these slippery conditions. He's got 1st place away from Luke Herbert, who we're riding on board with now, slotting into 2nd place as we drop down through the Craner curves for the first time. That victory for Luke was his 20th career win, which means that now, remarkably, he and Jack Harding both have the same amount of career victories. They're almost inseparable on podiums as well. Jack's had 58 career podiums, Luke 55. They both had 17 career fastest laps. It's no wonder, really, that we've been treated to such sensational racing between these two in the last couple of years. The championship battles between them have been electrifying, and that's why, because they are 2 of the most evenly matched drivers in the business. And here they are again now, nose to tail, fighting for 2nd place. We're on board now with Harding in 3rd position, so he's managed to fend off James Cousins at the start of this race. No, in fact, no, he is 4th. I beg your pardon, that's Cousins in front of us. So Harding has lost a position, actually, from the start of the race. Out of Copse they go then. Through the gears, down the exhibition straight once more. Jack Harding with 6 wins to his name in 2019, 21 podiums, which, guess what, is the same amount as Luke Herbert scored this year too. The stats between these two are almost begging belief, really, at this point. But here they come then, end of the opening lap of racing. It's Hills, that leads the way, Herbert 2nd, and Cousins 3rd, the interloper now amongst the big 3, with Jack Harding 4th, and Simon Baldwin not quite able to go with them at the moment like he did yesterday. Perhaps not quite got the damp settings right on that car for this slightly greasy 2nd race of the weekend. Back with Herbert then. Getting some great onboard views here from cars in the early stages of this race before it all properly kicks off later, I'm sure. Graded curves, over the curbs there, that's very brave in these damp conditions. We had quite a bit of overnight rain, it rained quite heavily yesterday evening as well. So the track is certainly not in prime condition, but those curbs are usually like ice in the wet. But they're all using them, because if one of them gets brave enough to use them and finds an advantage from using them, then everyone else has to do the same or risk getting left behind. And, so if the race leader is brave enough to use those curbs, really, those behind have little choice but to follow. Harding sideways there through McLean's corner. It's 12 points then, the cushion now for Herbert. So realistically, even if Harding beats him by a couple of positions in each race, that's not going to be enough. He needs to be winning both of these two races with fastest lap and hope that in at least one of those races, Herbert ends up off the podium. But the first step in that plan is to get to the front of the field, and right now Harding, as he was for much of the first part of yesterday's race, is off the podium, so progress needs to be made here. Through the chicane then they go. The leader, Aidan Hills, bursts back into view, and Luke Herbert a bit closer this time around as they come through at the end of the second lap of racing. And a small gap back then to Cousins in third. He went well in dampish conditions at Silverstone in the Super Series a few weeks ago. Then it's the fight for fifth there between Simon Baldwin and Patrick Fletcher. Then Nick Rutter seventh. Everybody else flashing through behind. Bradley Kent now having a decent run, I think, as well inside the top 10. So the field has spread out slightly here in the early stages of this race. Right the way back to the tail end of the field. There's Walton there towards the back. Now Herbert starting to look a little bit more racy here. We heard him saying to Lloyd before the race that he's not going to try and play the percentages here. He's going to race to win. The easiest way to guarantee he wins this championship is to win these remaining two races. Then it takes all the mathematics out of the equation, really. But to do that, he's going to have to get past Aidan Hills, who's looking for his 7th victory of the season. He said to me at the start of the weekend, if he can get to 10 career victories by the end of the year, he'll be very happy. Well, he's on 8 at the moment. As I said, 6 of those have come this year already. And if he wins these two remaining races, you never know. He could get to, he would get to 10 career victories, I suppose. Fairly simple maths, isn't it? 8 plus 2 would mean he'd have 10 career victories, but that's not going to be easy to do. Herbert is harrying him now as they head onto the exhibition straight, weaving around, forcing Hills to defend. This is not really what Herbert needs. Wants to be just keeping Cousins and Harding at bay here, keeping them at arm's length behind him. Oh, corner cutting going on there from Aidan Hills. Kicks a load of mud up in the face of Luke Herbert behind him. And that is a tactic that some drivers do use, actually, especially if it is a bit muddy out there, because Luke won't want to flick those windscreen wipers on now to clear that mud, because it risks smearing it across the whole windscreen. Then he really won't be able to see where he's going. So it is actually a surprising tactic that drivers do sometimes use to try and put the driver behind them off. A moment there for Chris Richardson, I think that was, wasn't it, as they came out of the chicane, but gathered it all together. And, across the start-finish line once again, the cars towards the tail of the field, who are, I think, just glad to be surviving these conditions. The greasy conditions sometimes a little bit harder than even full wet conditions, because the grip levels are changing by the corner. It's neither wet nor dry. More mud kicked in the face. Look, that's exactly what I mean. You see Herbert flicks the windscreen wipers on, thinking it'll clear the mud, and actually it just wipes it across the whole windscreen. So now his visibility is impaired even further. And Aidan Hills keeps on throwing mud in his face. It's almost like he's doing this on purpose, isn't it? Former rallycross star, junior rallycross star was Aidan Hills, as I mentioned before. And maybe that's a tactic he's learned from rallycross, that being the man out in front means you're the only one that can see where you're going. But Aidan is using every trick in the book here, as he'll have to try and keep those behind him at bay. You can see Harding having the same sort of problems here, though. Still sat in 4th position in this train, as he tries to work his way a little bit closer to the front again. Through the chicane they go. Harding's car seems very loose, doesn't it, on turning? I've noticed that on a few of the onboard shots we've enjoyed in the early stages of this race from Jack's car, that it is stepping out quite a lot on corner entry. And that's certainly not making the car any easier to drive. Simon Baldwin comes through still in 5th position, ahead of Patrick Fletcher, then Nick Rutter, then Gary Townsend. Bradley Kent, I think, ahead of Will Stevenson towards the back end of the top 10. Through they come. Continue to pull away. It really is a testament to their pace, isn't it, that despite the battling going on up the front, they're still pulling away from the rest of the field, which again is something we've seen an awful lot of this year. Or with Harding now, he's finding it noticeably harder to make progress in this race than in the previous races. Oh, that helps though. James Cousins runs out wide through the old hairpin, and Harding pulls immediately to the right-hand side, shifts up a gear, and he is now into 3rd place. So Jack Harding then onto the podium. That's step 1 of the plan executed, but now he's going to try and bridge this small gap to the top 2, who are just breaking away ever so slightly. But with Herbert down in 3rd place at the moment, in theory, if Harding could get through into the lead, score 100 points, Herbert down in 3rd would score 96, except that might not be the case for much longer, because he's making a challenge here on the inside of Aidan Hills, and Luke Herbert is going for the race lead. He's found a gap, and immediately those potential mathematics that I was working out are already out of date anyway, because Herbert is now through into the race lead, and it matters little because Harding's now got to overtake another car before he's even onto the tail of his big championship rival. So Herbert out in front then as they come through to complete another lap of racing. Through they go, across the start-finish line. And Herbert now does have a clear view of the track in front of him. And they head down towards Redgate Corner. Still the four of them very closely matched here, very close together. But the order is now changed slightly at the very front. It changes further back. No, they're all still in the same order, I think, towards the tail of the top 10. On board with Aidan Hills then, who, as you can see, has a much clearer windscreen for the time being than Luke Herbert enjoys. Is that going to change though? Herbert sort of searching around there for grip through the old hairpin. I'm not sure he found any out there because Hills was quicker on the more traditional line. There's the mud, I knew that was coming. Oh, and Herbert sideways through Starkies. They both got a bit out of shape there, actually. And Aidan Hills does now pull alongside him. He's on the outside into McLean's. That might be where the grip is in the wet conditions, but he can't quite carry the momentum into the corner to make it stick. Jack Harding can't be far away now in third position. As they head into Copse once again. Over the curve on the inside. Not too much curb taken by Luke Herbert, though. Throwing quite as much mud into the face of Aidan Hills for the time being. And as they head now down towards the end of another lap, this will actually be the closest together, I think, that these leading four have been for quite some time, actually. So they head now towards the end of the lap. There they go. You can see they're very close together now. James Cuslin's still very much with them in fourth, despite having had that grassy moment earlier on. Harding always looks remarkably calm behind the wheel, doesn't it? Nice and smoothly down the gears. Just tips the car into the corner as gently as he can. And heads back down the crane of curves once again. And Jack Harding working away at the wheel now as he tries to figure out what his next move is. The provisional mathematics I was working out earlier on, before it changed anyway, was that if Harding were to win, where would he sort of need Herbert to finish and take this to the to the last race? And if Harding were to win with fastest lap, I think he would probably have to hope that Herbert was as a minimum third, maybe even down to fourth position realistically. That is a long shot, it must be said, but then with four cars together here at the front of the field, you never know. That could be something that happens. That's what Harding will be hoping. What Herbert will be hoping is that that very much doesn't happen, and that he's able to retain this lead to the flag, and Harding ends up somewhere nowhere near him, basically. But because, as I said, there is this little grudge match developing between the two of them, especially after the decision yesterday, which you'll be surprised to hear Jack Harding wasn't particularly happy about. But the decision was made that it was going to be Herbert who got the victory, and it was made irrespective of the championship situation that was going on. It was all about just the, that was by the letter of the law. It was decided that Harding had cut the corner to gain an advantage on the last corner of the last lap of the race. And so Herbert it was that inherited the victory, but Harding had some pretty strong words to say about that when I spoke to him last night. And he gets half a chance to get one over on Luke Herbert here, and maybe, just maybe, keep his title hopes alive. He absolutely will do so. It's back downhill again. It's been a reasonably calm race this so far, as I think they've spent the first half of it just kind of gauging the conditions. We're into the second half now. And on board again with Aidan Hills. In second place, lots of dirt on the road there through Starkey. That's probably what caught them both out a few laps ago. As more and more cars cut the corners, of course, they drag that mud and dirt onto the road where it's not really wanted. So, up the hill again. Harding a little bit closer every time we see him, and needs to start. I think he's been sat back maybe for a while, just waiting to see what Aidan Hills does. He knows that Aidan is not backwards in coming forwards. If Aidan saw an opportunity to get past Luke Herbert, he'd go for it, and Herbert's made a mistake there at Coppe's corner, and that could be what it took to ignite this battle now, because Hills goes to the outside, and Jack Harding goes to the inside. They're three abreast, and Harding and Herbert make contact. Oh, Jack Harding sideways. He surely can't stop the car. Sails straight on through the gravel trap, and just like that, it all kicked off in a flash. Now, what is the end result? Harding rejoins as the leader, but surely will have to give the places back, which I think he's about to do now. He'll let Luke Herbert through. He won't let Aidan Hills through, though. How on earth did Herbert end up still with the race lead? Because he was the one that made the mistake that sort of triggered all of that at Coppe's corner. Ran out wide onto the grass, lost momentum down the back straight. It looked as though Aidan Hills, if anyone, was going to come out of that with the race lead. But I think he maybe had to take evasive action when he saw that Jack Harding was sort of sailing through on the inside out of control. But another instance there of these two getting themselves very close together. Indeed, it very nearly ended in disaster there. Imagine if contact had been made and Herbert had ended up off the road. As it was, they both survived. Harding is still second. He's sideways now through the old hairpin. And Luke Herbert, I think, has had enough of this now. He just wants to get out of here whilst he has the opportunity. Bit of traffic in front of them to negotiate in the next lap or so. But if Jack Harding gets caught up defending from Aidan Hills here, that might be enough to allow Luke Herbert to break that all-important slipstream. Dives up the inside of Liz Walton, puts her a lap down. There's now a physical car between himself and the chasing pack, or there was, but of course they've dived up the inside of Walton pretty quickly as well. Harding once more, though, having to defend second place now. Aidan Hills and James Cousins are potentially going to start working together as a team here. They are the only two teammates in this lead pack. They both dive up the inside of Peter Weaver now, who stays dutifully out of the way. Hills very sideways there through the chicane, and that will possibly allow James Cousins actually to attack him for third position. And stay in the same order as they come across the line. But look at the gap that's opened up now between Herbert and Harding. Has Jack Harding got anything here for Luke Herbert? Can he close in on him and have another go at getting the lead away? He has to, really, to keep his championship hopes alive. And actually, that's worked out not too badly for Harding, because he is just about within reach of Herbert still, but he's actually got a bit of breathing room over Hills as well. So Harding might be able to salvage something from this yet. Luke Herbert has driven pretty faultlessly so far. That one little mistake that he made, but he came out of it okay, didn't he, with the race lead still. Apart from that, he hasn't really put a foot wrong. Found a way past Aidan Hills earlier on, and now he's trying to scoot away from Jack Harding, who's got himself into second place. So as things stand, 2 more points would be scored by Luke Herbert. That would take the gap up to 14 points. And I think that would be enough to win the championship, because for Harding to outscore Herbert by more than 14 points would require a Harding win and Herbert to be way down the order, and that would more than likely then become a dropped score. So I think that if things finish as they are now, Herbert will provisionally be a 3-time champion. It may change, though, if Harding can get back ahead of him. But he's at no point been ahead of him so far in this race, apart from the brief moment where he went through at the chicane. But that, as we saw, didn't really end well. So across the line they go then, the gap continuing to grow actually now. Harding slipping back into the clutches of Aidan Hills rather than going after Luke Herbert. Now what does Hills do? Does he choose to work with Jack Harding here and try and close in on the race leader together, or does he feel that he's quick enough to do it all on his own? Well, he takes 2 different lines through Redgate, but that's not necessarily all that uncommon in these conditions. If Aidan Hills decides that he has got the speed to chase down the leader now, he might choose to go on the attack immediately, get past Harding, and then set after Herbert himself. But if he believes that Jack Harding maybe has the pace to catch the leader anyway, he might just let him get on with it. Here's a battle going on further back meanwhile. Will Stevenson is at the forefront of the shot, then it's Bradley Kent, and then it is Gary Townsend. They turn through the corner, number 69 then. Sorry, beg your pardon, George Grant, not Bradley Kent. Both went out in the same stable though. And George Grant, the number 69 car, defending busily here from Townsend, the second of the AK Automotive drivers behind him. Townsend moving around, looking to try and get through. Speaking to Gary's teammate, Jack Harding, actually, earlier on this weekend, and he said that Gary is one of those drivers who you do not want in your mirrors, because he will have a go when you least expect it. And that's something George Grant, I'm sure, is considering the possibility of now. Through the lanes, Townsend, they're not really close enough to attack at that point. Comes out over the curbs. Turns into Copse corner. So they're all trying to find the drier line, but to overtake, you have to go off that dry line, which is getting drier by the lap now as the sun starts to come out as well. But you have to go off that line to make an overtake, and that means driving on the slippery side of the road, which is not usually advisable, but you've got to try and make some progress if you can. Stevenson driving down the wet side of the road there to defend this position through the chicane. But in the end, he's quicker off the corner anyway than the cars around him. Here's the fight for 5th position that's going on between Simon Baldwin and Patrick Fletcher. And Patrick Fletcher might just have a bit of an overlap here. He's going to try and get alongside Baldwin down the hill. Can he do it? They almost touch slightly as they come through Hollywood, but Baldwin's got the inside line for the left-hand element of the Craner curves. And unless Fletcher's feeling really brave, which he wasn't, he was not going to be able to get up the inside there into the old hairpin. Car Slides a bit wide though through the right-hander. Back along they go. Right, change for second place then. So Aidan Hills is back ahead of Jack Harding now. So where did that happen? Aidan Hills has got himself into P2. Harding is now down to third, so he would now lose 4 points to Luke Herbert, make that 6 because Herbert's got the fastest lap, and that pretty much seals the deal now, you'd imagine. Luke Herbert's not even in that shot, so I can assure you he's gone through. He's still leading the way, but now by an increasingly sizable margin. And Aidan Hills has decided to take matters into his own hands here rather than working with Jack Harding. You can see the leader getting away, and he wants to try and pursue him on his own down the hill. And sideways again there for Aidan as he drifts the car as only he can through that dauntingly quick sequence of corners. But that now maybe is the final nail in the coffin really for Jack Harding's championship aspirations, and now he's under pressure from James Cousins, who tries to get up the inside into Starkey's corner, took too ill to the dirt there to do so, and in the end simply ran out of road. So Harding does hold on to third by the skin of his teeth, and you do feel now that for the third year in succession, it's just slowly starting to slip away. He came here 2 years ago with a mathematical chance of beating Luke Herbert, but Luke was very much in the driving seat on that occasion, just needed to get 3 solid results, which he did, and took his first title. Then last year, Jack came here a little bit closer actually in the points than the previous year, but we lost a race sadly due to adverse weather conditions and red flags and such like, and so Harding, actually when he was looking like he might be able to outscore Herbert in the races here 12 months ago, didn't get as many opportunities as he should have done to score those points. And so Herbert was able to come out the champion again. This year, arguably, they were closer still on points, and it was definitely possible that Harding could have done it. That decision made last night hasn't helped matters, but it was still going to be an uphill struggle to outscore Luke Herbert by enough points to take the championship from him. And indeed, it would appear it's not going to happen because he's down in third place at the moment. We're on the final lap of our penultimate race of the year, and whilst there is still another race to come, I'm not convinced that it's going to be doable now. Luke Herbert should be... Oh, and now it's that surely has done it now because Jack Harding's off at the old hairpin. Drops down to fourth place now on the final lap of the race. I said earlier on that car did not look happy on corner entry, and, well, that now really does, I think, end his championship aspirations because he's down to fourth place now, and the gap's going to go up by another 2 points now. Another 8 points in total it will go up by, and that now I think will be about it now. 20 points between the two of them going into the final race is surely an insurmountable margin. James Cousins though taking full advantage of that to move into third place. This though is the man of the moment. It's never official until it's official, but right now by my calculations it's going to be mighty hard for anyone to beat Luke Herbert, who comes out of the final corner to take his 9th victory of the season. And it is one that puts him on the cusp of the 2019 championship. He takes the checkered flag. It's almost neck and neck between the two Aidan Hills cars, but it's Hills that gets second, Cousins in third, and Jack Harding a disconsolate fourth position. And that, I think, is the end of his championship hopes. Well, it's Herbert then that takes the race victory, and that was a crucial win. 4.4 seconds, by the way, is the second biggest winning margin of the year. Aidan Hills second, James Cousins third, with Harding in fourth. Patrick Fletcher fifth, then Nick Rutter and Simon Baldwin, with Will Stevenson, George Grant and Gary Townsend to round out the top 10. Liz Walton, the last of the finishers, whilst Bradley Kent, sadly, failed to start.
Luke, congratulations on your win in race 2. A little bit of an interesting discussion between you and Luke there in the in Parc Fermé.
Yeah, you know, it's tight racing. Someone's always right, someone's always wrong. Everyone thinks they're right, so I don't know what's, you know, it will obviously go to the office, so don't know what's going to happen. But as far as I'm aware, I made a mistake. Aidan went to the left of me on the outside of the chicane because he had the pace. I went to the right to defend against Jack, and you know, he tried to go, as far as I'm aware, down a gap that wasn't there and locked up on the grass. So obviously, when it's been raining, it's only going to end up one way. You're going to lock up and go on. So yeah, so that was what the heated moment was about, I think. But yeah, it's, you know, I'm pleased to come out of a win. I think we got fastest laps, so yeah, good result. One more race, and then hopefully we get the championship. But I don't celebrate until the final race is done, because I'll do a lot of people will miss out a race, but I'm here to race, so I'll do every race.
Brilliant. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you out there. As you say, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. I don't think there's much, so we can say provisional 2019 champion, but provisionally. It's a nice way to end the season.
Yeah, provisional's not good enough for me yet, so like I say, I won't celebrate. But it's nice to get 2 wins this weekend in front of family and sponsors and friends. So reverse grid for race 3. Let's see how it goes.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing you out there. Congratulations on your race 2 win.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Aidan, second place in race 2. Tough battle out there, particularly after yesterday as well.
Yeah, yesterday was a bit intense. Damp, wet sort of races are my bread and butter normally. I'm good in the wet, good in the damp. We didn't quite have the car switched on enough at the beginning. Luke was much quicker than us at the beginning. In the middle of the race, he pulled away. I got back past him, and I'd done the move down the back straight. Thought I was back in the lead, and we could have sailed away. But Jack and Luke had a little, don't know what was going on. I couldn't see, and all I heard was Jack locked up, going into the chicane. So I kind of just had to take avoiding action. Went through the gravel, and that obviously cost me the chance to win. Coming back to second though was good, but the main thing for me is two of our Hills Motorsport cars on the podium. That's massive for us. We're starting a race team now for me and my dad, so really happy with that, and yeah, really happy to have 2 cars on the podium. That's probably better than winning the race, really.
We've got third race this afternoon, reverse grid, so you're going to be in front of Luke. Track might be drying up by then. What are your thoughts?
Just go have some fun. That's all I want to do. It's the last race of the season. The car's damaged. Let's just have some fun. Hopefully they pull out the highest number. I think 8. So me and Luke will be starting 7th and 8th, and it'll just be a great race.
Well, we look forward to seeing that. Congratulations on your second place, Aidan.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
James, well done on third place. Now, this is only your second Mazda SuperCup race, and you've come away with a podium.
Yeah, I don't know if it was expected or not. I came into the weekend with high hopes, but not expecting anything. And then yesterday, qualified 4th, thought that was all right, might be able to stay there, drop back to 5th. And last night, I really went to bed thinking, what can I do from here? But luckily today, I like the rain. I like driving in the rain. Well, rain. And then today, just finding the grip really, just seeing how it went, and just consistency. I went off for 1 lap, and then I thought I'd lost the toe, all that kind of stuff. But then Jack did it as well, and I saw that third place coming my way pretty quick, and then Aidan was right in front of me, so it was a pretty good little 2-3 for us.
Yeah, it's been an interesting weekend. As you say, track conditions have been quite varied throughout the weekend. Going to be the same again this afternoon for the final race, and you're going to be starting in front of Aidan and Luke.
Yeah, well, hopefully Aidan and I can work together and maybe get that 1-2 this time. That's the plan anyway. But yeah, I like it in the rain. Actually, I'd rather it stay like this all day, to be honest. But it looks like it might dry out soon. But yeah, enjoying it. Really good fun here at SuperCup BRSCC. Hopefully I can come back and do some more next year. Just need that little bit of sponsorship money and get myself on the top step.
But if anyone's looking to sponsor you, I think you've given them a good cause to get out there. It'll be great to see you out there next year, but more importantly, we're looking forward to seeing you in race 3 later on.
Yeah, that's the plan, mate. So I'll hopefully get the top step. But yeah, next year, I've got a whole car for branding, so I'm a mobile advertising unit. So hopefully I'll be there next year.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to seeing you later on.
Cheers, mate.